Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Got my good friend Bob Kudla here, and we got another sell signal for you in this market. So enjoy those gains while they last, because they won't last for long. Let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
All right, Bob, we're a consumer economy. Consumer economy requires goods, and those goods require them to travel all over the country. Henceforth, this signal matters.
Yeah, so like you said, enjoy the gains while you have it, because this is a highly predictable and proactive signal for the market. So if you want to throw this thing up, this is the trucking index, heavy duty trucks against the S&P 500.
Yeah.
So we have a divergence here with trucking and with SPX fill, and it's going to manifest with SPX falling, which is the SPY. And with the SPY falling means all the components are going to fall with it. So it's going to be a broad sell-off. And so we have a couple things here in front of us, right? So is it going to wait for the inauguration? Are we going to get a post-Thanksgiving dump? Are we going to get a mid-December dump? You know, those might be a little foreshadowing, but I think this is foreshadowing the bigger move going into after all the money gets pushed in and taken out in January. Then I think this is going to show the move down into what I would say March and April lows that we usually get every year. To confirm this, Phil, just check out this next chart. This is telling you, remember we said, the market can't crash without retail being all in. This is what retail being all in means. Single stock leverage ETF volume. Everybody's playing for the weekend, so we have people just leveraging up, trying to catch these moves. And you know what? Look, and you and me both. I mean, I'm trading MicroStrategy on leverage today. So I'm just as guilty as everybody else. And I'm retail. No matter how experienced you are, I'm retail. And so a lot of people are trying to just make the big move going into the end of the year. And this absolutely will not end well. We will see these all get obliterated going into January. And so you got to be really careful, guys, because when these go, they actually suck the rest of the indexes down with it, Phil.
Yeah, and the single stock leverage ETF volume, like you said, you were participating in it. The guys in the rooms have been participating in it, and it's just because they're performing right now. There's a lot of volume in them. The problem is that people actually will long term get into these things and think that the gains are going to continue, and that's the problem. They're really more day trading vehicles. So it's kind of like trading begets trading, volume begets volume, but it's typical of what you see at the highs here, and especially at the late business cycle highs or secular bull market highs. Going back to that truck index, you'll notice that quite often we do get a divergence where the heavy truck index dies off first, and it can persist for a month or two or three before the market actually tops out. So very, very similar to past tops that we saw in the basically the dot-com boom, great financial crisis, right before COVID, and here where I think we are going to get a substantial top in the market, which ultimately will turn into probably another round of printing, right? Because that's our new normal. Nobody can ever handle the medicine, it seems, and they got to print their way, and it's going to be premature. So I think ultimately you'll get another kicking in the can, because I think ultimately solving the problem means that the market would have to correct deeper and longer than anyone can stomach. And with the recent rounds of stimulus, I just think that that's going to be too much for the market not to go back to, and the voters not to want, and the politicians not to say no to. So I think it's inevitable that we're going to get to that, but there will be some deflation. I think you and I both agree that there will be a bit of a deflationary cycle, and I think the Fed secretly wants some of that to get this under control, because I think they know ultimately that to get out of this mess that's being advertised here with the truck index signal is that they are going to have to print. But if they go back to it too soon, we're going to start turning into like Venezuela here with inflation. So I think that's kind of why they're positioning and why they're being a little bit hawkish here. They're trying to suppress, rates a little bit here. And I think that's why they see what's coming down the pipe. So the more runway they have, the better they can deal with this before they actually have to go back to that quantitative easing, which will be QE5 now.
Yeah, Phil, he's going to try to drive oil prices down because that's the biggest component of inflation.
Yep.
So he can declare victory, give the Fed runway to lower interest rates, and then he's going to work on the deregulation, so businesses can potentially make more money, so they can lower their costs to still make more money. And so hopefully he's going to create a virtuous cycle from that. So it all is going to come down to getting energy costs under control. And then I think you'll probably see then a shallow stock market correction. But if not, I think we're going to be in for a deeper shock here. So it's going to be hard to predict how it's going to work from February into the end of the year, because we've never done what he wants to do do before.
Correct. Yeah, it is going to be a little different this time. So you kind of have to go with a bunch of if-then conditions, right? And then versus trying to predict exactly how this is going to play out, because there are some differences here on this particular top. But I think overwhelmingly we do see a drop. It's just really comes down to how deep and how long before they cry uncle. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Well, let us know your thoughts on today's video. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And always check out our stuff over at tradegenius.co or tradelikeagenius.com. We've got our Black Friday specials running. So if you've been thinking about joining us in the room to navigate these crazy markets, now is a great time to do that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's episode. Take care.
Trade Genius.